Hello and welcome to the Pickup WNBA podcast. I'm your host, Cathryn Niker.
And I'm your other host, Freddie Rivas. What's up? Yeah, so I'll tell you what's up. We are going to do our classic social media bump at the Pickup WNBA podcast, Instagram, no longer Twitter, TikTok, and YouTube. That's the important socials for us. So like, subscribe, and give us your soul. That's really what we want. No, just kidding. But just give us your love, which you always do. So thank you.
Wow. It was a journey, but weirdly succinct, I gotta say.
That's a good description of my character and my life.
Okay.
Like when I said give us your soul, in my mind, I'm like, I feel like I'm giving my soul
To this podcast?
to this podcast, to the people.
Well, to the people. Well, labor of love until it isn't. So
Right?
let's keep going. We've got a lot to talk about today. Free agency has technically started. We've had a big trade already. We've had March Madness come to an end, but first, we had a bracket challenge. We have a winner. It was a wild Final Four. The bracket was shook, and congrats to Andrew P for winning the bracket challenge.
Andrew P. Dare I say,
Sound effect.
dare I say, dominating it was a
Won
really,
by a
really big
lot
win.
because only him and Matthew, shout out to Matthew, picked UCLA to win it all. Connecticut losing to South Carolina broke a lot of people's brackets, myself included. Freddie, you had a huge jump.
Big climb.
You wanna brag about your big climb for a minute?
Yeah, I want to say that I finished in 13th, and at one point I was dead last. And I'm just gonna walk you through the people who beat me. So here are the teams that they picked: UCLA, Connecticut, UCLA, Connecticut. Then comes me, 13th, South Carolina. So, I mean, I just want to say, like, if South Carolina wins, I win. But they didn't, and that's how brackets work. So shout out to Andrew. You've got a league pass.
I don't know if you would you have won one, or would you have just jumped because you had to come back from so far?
So the other person who, that's a good point. Yeah, so I might.
I don't know.
I don't know.
My brain can't math like that. So
my brain can't math like that either. But I would have. I think. Yeah, I would have been. I would not have been a 13th. I finished with. Where am I here? I finished with 119. Yeah, I think I would have been in second at least because Bryce and Kat were both in second and third respectively with 129.
Yeah, like shout out to our leader pack here, Bryce, Kat, and Reese's Pieces, who were really leading the way for a long time there.
The championship, you get 32 points for winning the championship. So 32 plus 119, whatever that is. So yeah, I would have won. I mathed the math. I would have won.
119 plus 32, you said?
And then Andrew, who
no, you would have had 151.
Right, and Andrew.
Oh, he would have gone down.
Yeah, he wouldn't have. He wouldn't have had that 32, right?
Okay,
so
easy.
163 minus 32. But hey, Andrew won. I'm sounding like a Geno. I'm sounding like a Geno. Right?
I'd never do that to you. I'd never do that to you.
I mean, I guess, are we transitioning now?
We gotta transition. The transition was wild.
From I'd never do that to you to I'd beat Geno's ass to I'm gonna beat his ass is
phenomenal.
Honestly, that's the arc.
Honestly, I should have kept going with my little rant there.
Yeah, it's the most beautiful arc It's the most
Yeah.
beautiful arc. It's fantastic.
And well, it was funny because when she said, like, "I'd never do that to you," I was like, "That's actually correct. I don't think she would ever do that to him." And then when she was like, I'd beat Gino's ass. I'd beat Gino's ass." I was like, "That's also true. I would absolutely pick Don over Gino in a fight." Like, everything Don said was just so accurate at all times.
Let let me ask you something, Catherine.
Yeah.
What was Gino actually accusing her of?
Oh, I can break this down for you
Break
quite
it down
well.
for me.
So
Like,
G
I know there
Gino
was dirty play. I know there was all that sort of stuff because I
So
watched
there were
yeah.
two main complaints that Gino had. Both have been proven to be untrue.
Yeah, the
So the
ripped
first
jersey.
yeah, so what okay, so first was he said you didn't shake my hand before the game, but there's footage of them shaking hands or greeting each other before the game. They shook hands. They dapped, right? And then the second one was that he said, you didn't call a foul on a ripped jersey, but Sarah Strong ripped her own jersey.
Yes.
And she wasn't standing near anybody, like, it's clear as day. And then he doubled down on both of those things on the press conference after the game, and then it was, like, the next day or the day later that Gino actually, like, apologized.
And the first apology sucked.
Yeah, it felt like a very forced
The more recent
apology.
apology was good, but
Really, yeah, I mean, to me, that it all I didn't think I don't know.
oh,
I
he doesn't come out of this looking good, but he at least was like, "We talked," and she was like, "We talked. Everyone needs to move on. We're good." And then
Right, right,
he
right.
was like, "We talked. I said sorry to her." And it wasn't like, "I'm sorry to the staff." It's like, "No, no,
Oh, okay, yeah,
mention her
that's
name."
better. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I agree. Maybe I'm a bit too, I don't consider myself a cynical person, but it's just like when it comes to these like public celebrity apologies, it's just like, I don't know, we've heard so many at this point, you know?
Oh, for sure. He's a waste man after this.
But it adds to their storied rivalry. Um and who knows, maybe there'll be a bit of like revenge next season, maybe not, maybe they'll just be so over it. But it was definitely a wild ending to that game that really dominated my social media throughout the weekend, and
Mhm.
I'm sure a lot of our listeners as well, like, to the point where, for me, it didn't put, like, a cloud over the final game by any means, but it dominated the news more than the final game, at least in my algorithm. Now that might not be true for everybody because of how we receive news these days, but in my algorithm, it dominated more, the news cycle than the actual championship game.
I think yeah, I don't know if this is me being semantical, but I think I wouldn't say it put a cloud over the game, but it was bigger news than the game, and I think the fact
That's
that
what
the
I'm
game
trying to say, sorry,
yeah,
yeah.
no, yeah, exactly, like, I agree because like, I think it was a bigger deal than the game, and, I watched that game on the Sunday with my family. We were doing, like, that was like our Easter, hangs, and it just wasn't close. And I
No.
think that really played into if that game was really close and awesome and amazing, that would've there would've been a pardon me, like a bigger chance for a reframe, but the game was pretty like South Carolina was handled. And to that point, shout out UCLA.
Yeah,
We've gone a
congratulations
long
to
time on the podcast
UCLA.
without I mean, I think that sort of says it, right? That me and you
That
were like, "We
does.
gotta talk
This
about"
is this is my point.
yeah.
But we also have in our notes to congratulate UCLA
Yeah,
we do,
we do.
for a dominant win. Um, you know, we've talked about Lauren Betts throughout the year. I think I said last week or 2 weeks ago that I've become increasingly more impressed with her as I watch her, and, yeah, I mean, it was really great for UCLA too because a lot of those players are moving on next year that they got to, like, kinda, like, culminate their college career with this. Who I don't know what's in store for UCLA next year, but just proving that they have a championship coach, maybe they'll get people in that transfer portal, like who knows where they'll be next year. But yeah, really, really great stuff from them.
Yeah, and we've talked about this before. I think we were both sort of in agreement to give us a gentle call out that we were, I guess, had our doubts about some of the UCLA players when we were doing mock draft stuff, and in certain mock drafts, all 5 starters were in the top 15. Currently, there's 4, but what can you say when you really crush it that hard? So, yeah, I really think that those players all deserve to be there,
Yeah,
and,
you can get like there's always like a championship bump, right? Like it kind of reminds me of Kate Martin, right? Like there you
yeah,
get that,
yeah, exactly.
right? Like a bit of a bump. Well, they didn't win, but still like being that level, it gives you a bump, I feel.
But yeah, to that point, I think being a winner means a lot, and
Yeah.
yeah, so it's one of the reasons I was really, like, high on uh, Tanaya Latson was just being a big time scorer and then going to a different program to win specifically is a
Mhm.
good sign. Like, I really
Mhm.
like that. If I'm a W player thinking about who am I gonna get, and someone made a sacrifice to win and then did win, that's pretty huge. That's exciting. So if I'm any one of these teams in the draft and one of these UCLA players comes my way, I'm probably feeling pretty good about it.
Yeah, well, drafts next week.
Draft's next week.
Crazy. We got to move on cuz we got to talk about a huge trade.
Whoo!
Angel Reese
Blockbuster.
is now with the Dream. She was traded for 2 first-round draft picks, one for 2027, one for 2028. As many of us know, Angel's relationship with the Chicago Sky really fell apart towards the end of last season. She kind of called out the team for, paraphrasing here, but for not having enough talent. People really didn't like this call out because they thought it was like insulting to the other players on the team. Um, it kind of became like a killer in the locker room, so to speak. There's rumors that she has not gotten along with ownership for a long time. And they finally made this trade. And there seems to be a lot of relief from the Chicago Sky, like team ownership perspective, but there's been a lot of polarizing opinions about this trade as I've researched it. Like, Seerat Sohi from The Ringer talked about she called it the worst trade possibly in W history from the
Hmm.
perspective of the Chicago Sky. Um, her larger point was that, and it's true, is that the Chicago Sky have not held on to superstar talent, and they have a storied history of this that goes back, Freddie, I didn't realize, but before our time,
Mhm.
where they had Elena Deladon and they lost her. They had Sylvia Fowles and they lost her. Um, we kind of came into the league in 2021, so that all happened like before we were like locked in. But still, like, if Candace Parker wasn't from Chicago, that championship doesn't happen. They didn't hold on to Kalia Copper. Like, there's just so many great players that they haven't been able to hold on to. And I think it's interesting with these 2 draft picks because it's like, well, they could easily draft a superstar. They could easily win the draft, and end up with somebody like Sarah Strong or who knows, right? Like they could still end up with a great player, but if they don't, for lack of a better term, get their shit together, how are they going to retain the great talent that they may draft? And I think it just goes back to, our criticism, and I think fans league wide's criticism over the Chicago Sky for not valuing talent, for not valuing their team, for not investing in their team the way other teams do. And, Angel Reese is a superstar. She does belong in a bigger market, or at least a market that gives a shit, right? And you can't expect a player like that to wanna stay, and they they gotta step up, period.
Yeah, I'm gonna offer a counterpoint, but
Mhm.
first, I'm going to, aggressively agree.
Oh,
So,
okay.
yeah, first things first, they gotta step up, they gotta be better,
Yeah.
and what's faded away in all of this is that there's an ownership lawsuit still happening for the Chicago Sky. So,
Mm.
this is a franchise in disarray, has been in disarray for a long time. Really us coming into, I think about our timeline as fans and as people who covered the game, we really came in this like perfect storm for the Sky with Candace
Yeah.
Parker kind of deciding to give the Sky her last best year. And just so many things came together for them. Copper
Yeah,
Cunningham moment.
Vandersloot was amazing, like,
Yeah,
yeah.
right. Obviously Quigley, um my girl Dolson, come on now, like, it was it
We
wa
love Steph
it was a
Dolson
good
here.
time, James Wade. But, like, yeah, I think it was really, um, a lot of good stuff happened, and then it's been bad since. Here's my counterpoint.
Mhm.
I think that though I don't know enough of trade history and, like, robberies, the reason why I'm hesitant to kind of jump on the side of, like, this is the worst possible thing for this guy is that it was bad with Angel, and they were going to be bad again. So, based on who they draft this year with Angel and, Kim Cardoso, like, I think they were, like, this close to Angel just being like, "I'm not showing up to camp." So, when you think about that perspective, 2 first-round picks, if those are unprotected picks, holy shit, that's massive, and that's not, like, far away. That's 2007, 2008. And we think about all the expansion teams coming in, those are gonna be very, very valuable picks. And the other thing I will say is, if I'm in this management and I'm trying to make things better, one thing I'm gonna believe in is Chicago. Like, I think Chicago is a sports place. Obviously, it's a basketball place, and I think that Chicago deserves better and should get better, and I think the fans will be there as soon as things are not like we have like a rusted practice facility
Yeah. But
in
what do you mean
and
by you said if you're mismanagement, I'm confused.
oh, that's just a Freddie slip. If I'm yeah, that's a Freudian slip. No, I think like if I'm part of the management team and I have a genuine belief that things are gonna get better, I might I might sort of agree with using Angel as like the kickoff point
Sure.
because I kind of think like again, we're not in the room. I don't know how bad it was with Angel. Maybe Angel was just saying like, I want you to stop like sucking and spend
It
some
was
money.
not cool the way she handled it, and I think we said that at the time.
Well, I think she's also like ready to win for
Yeah, for sure.
so for the Atlanta side, damn, Atlanta was like how great was Atlanta last year?
Huge,
They
huge,
had a
huge.
massive year.
This is
They had a
big for
massive year.
Atlanta.
This is so big. And they're all this is like Angel. Like, I can't think of someone who's like better for their current team. Like she's gonna bring toughness. She also is gonna like Atlanta was like, Smesky ball, right? They're shooting all them threes. And Angels Angel's gonna be able to get a lot of
She's
rebounds.
gonna
Like
go from, like, shy Barbie to, like, ATL Barbie.
yeah, exactly. Like market too. Like this is a
Mhm,
pretty big if you're Atlanta, you caught Chicago at the right time. And
mhm.
I don't think you're that worried about your picks.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think, they're shaping up to be a formidable, I mean, I'm not ready to call them like a contender. Well, we don't even know who's gonna be on what team at this point,
Yeah,
but they're
yeah.
shaping up to be very formidable in the East, and it's exciting to see them up there, especially after years of really being at the bottom of the league. Like,
Yeah.
it's nice to see them be, like, near the top,
Gray, Reese, and Howard?
buddy.
Yikes.
It's gonna be
That's
phenomenal.
nasty.
I feel like they've already started the promo shoots, like, they had to, 'cause they're gonna be so good. Um, okay, let's, quickly talk about free agency. So,
Mhm.
negotiations have started. We record this late on April 8th, so negotiations started today on April 8th, they go to the 10th. Signings can start on the 11th. So, I guess next week we'll be able to kind of, like, recap the major signings and
Mhm.
all of that and go from there. Um, the players that you would anticipate being cored by teams have been cored. I don't think there's any surprises here. I don't know, Freddie, if you have that list in front of you, if you wanna go through it.
Yeah, so, and then, again, like, we can go through some of these terms as well, throughout. We don't have to do it all now, but I think if you're like already deep in the W, you know what being cored is all about. And then if you're on the newer side, it just means like each franchise gets like one player that is like contractually built to be the player. It's like they can pay them the most. That's sort of like they kind of like have rights as to like what they do, and they get sort of like the franchise player tag. So that said, like other players can still be paid more, but only certain players can be cored.
Mhm.
So players who have been cored, that we know, and this is from Alexa Filippo from ESPN. So Sabrina Ionescu by the Liberty, and Nafisa Collier, Minnesota Lynx, Kelsey Plum, or sorry, Kelsey Mitchell, pardon me, Indiana Fever, Kelsey Plum, Los Angeles Sparks, Arika Agumbawale, Dallas Wings, and also Alicia Gray, Atlanta Dream, Ariel Atkins, Chicago Sky, uh, Ezzy MacBeggar, Seattle Storm, and then uh, the Fire and the Tempo also they're unrestricted free agents. Like I guess that was part of the strategy. They've cored them, so they've offered cores to Bridget Carlton and Marina Mabry. Um, sorry, the Fire have offered to Bridget Carlton, and the Tempo have offered to Marina Mabry. That feels nice saying, by the way, because we're Tempo people. That like feels nice saying that like we're doing stuff, we're making moves. It's real.
Yeah, yeah, well, listen, tune into Tempo Check and you'll hear all our thoughts about that.
Yeah.
Um, I'm gonna sorry.
Yeah, so that's generally where we're at with chord players. Obviously, we still have some teams to chord their players. Also, earlier, I'm just realizing I said Kim Cardoso. For sure, Camilla Cardoso. So my bad there. Um,
ADHD, baby.
ADHD, the sky are already down so bad,
You
but they don't need that shit from me, you know? Uh,
maybe we need a sting, maybe we need, like, a sound effect for
I
our
need I need my own
ADHD.
crash out jar.
Yeah. What would even be the equivalent of a crash, like, for an ADHD slip or whatever? Because our
I
minds
mean,
are in so many different places at once, but
I wouldn't be
regardless of
allowed to
that.
leave the house.
Yeah,
Straight
you'd
up.
have to bring the jar on the go.
Yeah, jar on the
It
go
could it could be a
is very
digital jar.
ADHD.
It could be a very digital jar. Anyway,
Okay.
not as fun, not as tactile, but, it could be digital. But in any case, those are the chord players. Fun random thing that happened today, was that Nneka Ogwumike was surprised by a bunch of balloons in Minnesota Lynx colors, basically saying, like, "Welcome to the Lynx," and everybody thought she had, like, been signed by them, or that she signed with them, but she has not because that's not allowed yet. But Nneka Ogwumike is essentially on a free agency tour and is entertaining the Lynx, possibly amongst others. Um, this is something I kind of anticipated. I kind of anticipated Seattle breaking up a bit. because they're vets and, they haven't gotten past well, they passed the first round in their time together, but they haven't passed the second round. And it just felt like that mini era with her and Skylar Diggins may have come to an end, but we'll
Mhm.
see. You never know. You never know who Seattle might be able to sign. So it's going to be wild next week, but we're already seeing a bit of a taste. And shout out to a regular listener, Craig Pugh, who sent this to me. And he also commented, like, I wonder if everyone else is going to have a balloon budget. Would love to see
Ah,
would love to see what everyone else's balloon budget is or whatever their, free agency, pitches are. I don't think we'll have that kinda insight, but that would be so cool if we did.
I love free agency pitches. Um, this is an NBA thing, but a long time ago, when the Knicks were trying to get LeBron, they actually got like James Gandolfini, like Tony Soprano. They like made a Soprano scene, like
That's
speaking about
crazy.
LeBron.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
yeah, and
Also,
so
aren't
so
they
didn't work.
technically New Jersey in The Sopranos? Come on. They're
Maybe that's why it
literally
didn't.
they're literally based in New Jersey.
Maybe that's why it didn't work.
Maybe, maybe. But Freddie, I think, this could be a great segue, if you will, to our fun question.
Here we go. FFQ. Freddie's fun question. Cathryn, what
Mhm.
is your biggest free agency moment? Like, what is, have you ever been courted? Did you ever say, like, you know what? I'm out. I'm taking my talents elsewhere.
I've never been courted. But that might change. You never
That might
know.
change.
I could work up the ranks in this life.
Yeah, right.
But yeah, well, earlier too, you also asked me if I had ever been cored by someone.
It's
Uh,
funny because I said courted, but you heard cord, and I didn't
no.
correct you.
Oh, earlier. You didn't
Earlier.
correct me.
Yeah, because I was like, sort of the same thing.
No, it's not the same. Anyway, so I mean, I had a big career shift when I decided to start comedy.
Mm-hmm.
So
I
I
mean,
used to
that's
I w- used to work in film and TV, but as like a production coordinator, and I was doing production coordinator type work for a long time, and then decided I really missed being creative, and chose to make a huge leap into stand-up comedy and writing. And, I have not looked back. I look at other people fondly with more stable incomes, but I have not looked back. Yes, that would be my big free agency move.
That's pretty massive. Like
Mhm.
full career change is like that's as big of a free agency swing as you're gonna get.
Mhm, mhm.
Okay, here's mine. I was thinking, like, yeah, like I'm a clown, but like it's still I'm already a clown. So it's like I yes, I started working in a different place. Still a clown though. But here's mine.
Same clown, different place.
Same clown, different place. Let's go, honk honk. Um, so I yeah, I was on my high school basketball team, and uh for our American listeners, we don't really do the like freshman, sophomore, junior, senior thing, but this would have been like I'm a junior, right? And the way our teams work is like they're sort of divided junior, senior, freshman, or freshman, sophomore. So I was one of 4 grade 11s on the basketball team, right? Which is like sort of like, okay, next year you're gonna get to like do more stuff, but it was a blowout. I wasn't playing much, and there was a guy that was like his dad was really involved with the team and helping out, and he got put into the game before me, and it was like my breaking point. I was just like pissed, and I just decided I was like, screw this, I'm gonna leave. But the reason I was gonna leave, and this is so high school, is because I had a sweet offer which was to be Geno in West Side Story. So I went to my
Okay.
coach and I was like, I quit. And he's like, think about it. Like, don't give me your jersey. Just think about it. Like, think about it for a day. Next day I came in, I was still stubborn. I'm like, here's my jersey. Like, I'm going to West Side Story, bro. And I didn't say that, but that is certainly what I did. And it's funny because I probably and certainly could have done both.
Then why did you do that?
I was just pissed. I was basically just pissed that this guy got playing time over me.
Oh, okay. Then yeah.
Yeah.
I support it.
Thank you.
Mhm. Mhm. Were they like did they miss you?
The team? Barely, no. I wasn't making a big impact, you know? I was like,
Okay.
I was a grade 11.
Aw. Very sweet. Did you look the same as you do now?
I looked pretty damn similar. Like for
I feel
sure.
like you would. You would look the same.
Yeah, for sure, like way skinnier and way more athletic. But I definitely looked very, very much the same.
Oh yeah, you still fit into the same clothes. You still have a jersey from high school. You wear it all the
Uh
time for rap battles.
that's actually from like after high school.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Makes sense because you gave
But
that away. All right. Moving on.
yeah, moving on. Um by the way, Rap Battles is a show I do. It's great. Haven't done it in a long time. But if you're in Toronto, check my socials. We'll do it again.
You'll do rap battles again
Yeah.
someday.
Yes.
All right. Well, let's wrap it up there. Thank you again, everyone, for listening, tuning in. Appreciate you so much. Please remember to like, subscribe, all that good stuff. We've got both the pickup and tempo check this week, so check them out. And thank you again, and we'll catch you next time.
Cool.
Bye.
Peace, everybody.